Minister, sweldo ka talaga umuuli. Kasi maluwil sweldo mereka Director Well, masaul gingil mertal hearing. Egel negil dir kamlay magiwam ne talgibal time lo misagel babier. Ema potom tal hearing lo bangel ka Minister Finance, Director PEWA Eden Well. Elo bangel public utilities PEWA EPUT Energy Public Utilities and Telecommunication Committee Senate. Man nga suliw mortal hearing argid maktimo askara ngal adral arma mo mas kumya oath kom Director Well, and then mo leader question committee selbol really mo sabi member sa committee mo tikal asa question sila ko militero mo kasi kung wala nung sa adrala mal mas kumya de mergo mo sabi open miski da igal opening statement ng miro era do more questions on my answers. Okay.
If the witnesses could please stand, raise your right hands. Please repeat after me. I state your name. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under penalty of perjury. So help me God. Thank you. So at this time, we'd like to offer both witnesses the opportunity to make an opening statement.
Thank you. It'll just be an opening statement by myself. So good afternoon, President Paulus and Vice President, Chairman Mariur, members of the Committee on Energy, Public Utilities, and Telecommunications. Again, good afternoon. We thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to the committee today and are happy to answer any questions that we can answer. However, I do wish to open by clarifying that Director Well and I are here today voluntarily in the spirit of transparency and cooperation between the Ministry of Finance and this committee. We are told the subpoenas issued to us were not properly executed and are therefore unenforceable. And even if they were enforceable, they represent a needless and inflammatory escalation of what otherwise should have been a collegial and cooperative process. Having said that, I do want to acknowledge the committee and Senate's leadership's willingness to take our efforts at cooperation seriously and your continued respect for the impact that the voluminous request for records contained in the subpoena has on our and the Office of the Attorney General's ability to continue the many and complex day-to-day operations of running the government. To clarify publicly and on the record, we were unable to meet the deadlines in your request for documents because those documents must all be subjected to legal review prior to their release. Many of the documents you requested are subject to statutory and common law privileges, and even documents that are not entirely subject to privilege contain information that is. Those documents and information must be reviewed and redacted to protect the ROP's rights under the law and to respect the delicate balance of powers between the branches of government enshrined in our Constitution. To produce the requested documents without a legal review and appropriate redaction would be governmental malpractice of the first order. However, such review takes time and redaction takes time. The Ministry of Finance and the Office of the Attorney General, like most of the agencies of the RRP, are doing everything we can with the limited resources at our disposal to discharge our duties. We are today producing a tranche of documents some 200 documents running over 1,150 pages. There are more to come, and they will be made available to the committee per Senator Baulis's letter of July 17 on a rolling basis as they are prepared. With respect to today's proceedings, we both stand ready to answer whatever questions the committee may have. However, we will not be answering any questions that request information subject to attorney-client privilege, executive privilege, or that would call for the public disclosure of information in violation of the Open Government Act. Lastly, we come here today with the greatest respect for the members of this committee and the Senate more broadly. However, the conduct of your staff in the lead up to this hearing has been, quite frankly, reprehensible. Just this past Thursday, following our hearing, your attorney, Mr. Kennedy, approached me after the hearing and attempted to advise me to seek other counsel than that provided by the Attorney General's office, and made what I took to be a veiled threat of criminal prosecution. His attempt to advise me, knowing full well that I have legal counsel, to threaten me and to attempt to separate me from my legal counsel was absolutely improper. It was unethical, and it debases and casts disrepute upon this entire process. Of course, I recognize that Mr. Kennedy was acting well outside the scope of his proper duties when he did that. However, due to his close association with the process, his individual bad behavior creates an appearance of impropriety and shines a poor light upon the Senate's commitment to the rule of law. As a result, in addition to the complaint I will be lodging at the end of this week with the judiciary concerning Mr. Kennedy's conduct, neither I nor Director Uel will be answering any questions today as long as Mr. Kennedy is a participant in these proceedings. With that, we are otherwise ready to proceed. Thank you.
Can we take a 5-minute break and then maybe you can go to the other room? Mutul mo apparently ring remind us you guys you're still under oath, militerong witness. Kung maulan sa adral arang bol do opening statement na kami till start questioning.
All right. I'll be making a brief opening statement on behalf of the committee. And I'd first to start by introducing the committee members and the senators here today. Senator Lancer Basilius, Senator Top Sungino, Senator T.J. Remengesau, Senator Umi Sengabao, Vice President Chairman Karai Marior, Vice Chairman Senator Kikuo Inabo, Senate President Hokans Ballas, Senator Stevenson Corte, and Senator Mark Radin. Good afternoon, Minister Misuel. Thank you for being here today. This is one of those times when I'm going to tear up my prepared opening statement and just comment on your opening statement. Unfortunately, it does not appear that it was clear to you that when I spoke to you the other day, that was on behalf of and at the request of the Senate committee. I'm not sure what your lawyers have advised you, but I will tell you that the Senate committee has an absolute privilege to communicate with you, whether it's through the chairman, through any of the staff, including a lawyer. That's a well-recognized exception to the rule on communication with people represented by clients. The chairman is here today. He can confirm that the communication was on his behalf. And the reason for the communication was an attempt to resolve this dispute that's been raised. What is the dispute? Apparently, the ministry does not feel that it is bound by what we believe is a valid Senate subpoena. You stated yourself that you don't believe the subpoena is valid. We'd like to give you the opportunity before we get started to explain why do you believe the subpoena is invalid, and do you believe that you are bound under oath by your testimony here today? So with that, I'd like to let you respond.
Thank you, Chairman, for providing that explanation. I think my statement made it clear, and the complaint that I will file will make it clear, how it was presented to me. So at this point, I think our position still stands as the way I presented it, that we can continue to discuss if Mr. Kennedy leaves the room. If not, if you want, we can sit here, but I'm unable to answer anything at this time. This is not my first subpoena with the Senate, and I do respect the authority.
Hindi ang kaadra lang man magkilal ngartel kami na instructor ng ilmo kaya questions lekor kami. Ang payo lang ito wase pay mo lugar adra lang kami mo bom respect tra Senate ma ay gilguk teletela Senate talor aska adra lang il aska questions ra our witness mang. Actually ito segi dil wase pol sebel kom le valentir el me ngerager ma actually ito wase bom respect tra Senate direkal bol sebel lo ngerager ay gel bologer adra lalom tigera kami tira Senate.
Thank you, Chairman. Sure, you can understand that your side and our side are both referring to our legal counsel because, on our side at least, and as I've stated, I do believe there's an issue here with the subpoena and whether or not it followed the rules in terms of how it was delivered to us and what it is saying and my ability to respond. All of the ministry is working right now to prepare copies of whatever we can find related to the broad scope of what is being requested. So we respect your authority, but because of that particular issue, it's going to be difficult for us to continue to participate in the hearing today with you.
We're not trying to play hide the ball here. If you believe there's an issue with the subpoena, identify the issue and we'll examine it and see if there's any merit to it. What is the issue that's been identified?
Chairman and senators here, we have made our position. It's very uncomfortable for us to debate what we believe is a legal issue. And we're, like I said, we're here voluntarily. And if those concerns are not reflected in your position, then voluntarily being here is something that we choose not to do, and we will leave.
Hindi ako masalo sing tiga kal demand del mergi del waseng ngaras pedroli. Tirgam ne temle gilingel me mitra kamitira. Asenet tegi dia ko tletele asenet alurur mang. Aktiom da selo aseng al sugo mail al mologo ya dirga hirsel dirga outside dirga albora ang rangin sa pemel dongo kortiang musegi dia pai dolngi tloase mo tal dongo klem responder Michael Garila committee el trura adra lara committee kom na ko ngel mem na wa o makumda sulase possible wise
tiam la mo kona debate adrala arga ma adrala arga mam ya sapina lir gorga mel testify dim lagi mo durgal mette e mo adrala arga mem el al debate ngi ma adrala arga mam but please respect the Senate.
Thank you, President. The fact that I'm here, I respect the subpoena and the power of the Senate. I am here in my official capacity as a minister, and we are dealing with government operations and government documents, so I do need assistance of the government attorney to help me provide the information that you are looking for.
Agim na sa tiyan borse lutul nga la 5-minute break borse wandra office agim lutal do emi Ma'am Sula Minister nan mutun mem da mutun mal martial hearing ergid mang agim na adik saya lo sa dolmon mai meeting ergid mang agida adala mam giblam asan ergid mas kay kel questions ra kamitil kilala talure la committee ilda ulan mara adala
Minister, the committee's first question to you is this: when did you first meet Mike Lichtenfeld?
Senators, I'm happy to answer directly questions from you, but because of the complaint I'm going to file against Mr. Kennedy, I'm very uncomfortable with talking directly to him. So, if you insist on having him lead the hearing, then I choose to leave.
Minister, to clarify, the chairman is leading the hearing. I'm acting at his direction. All right. Ms. Uel, you are also under subpoena. When did you first meet Mr. Lichtenfeld? Chairman, for the record, witnesses refused to answer the question and left the room.
Maumda sente na gida del morsel next el parte ya gedel el charsem na contempt ya umda se dire lo de kiara así ora a PUC dire gal de na beldum reli milingil mo 3 hours era le receive sa pinara edi akalduk moral mera kamitil mon mutra 3 hours era meeting en me va ver na adra la ringil me sen jakal dibus ngara file nasa se tilte de regal mortira contempt